All right, let's dive right in to this final test match. Border-Gavaskar series, India versus Australia, day one. Well, drama, controversy. We're going to unpack all of it right here. Series is on the line, every run matters. And then, bam, India decides to rest their captain, Rohit Sharma. What is the deal with that?
Well, yeah, $1 million question, isn't it? On the surface, strategic move, keep players fresh. But former Australian captain Mark Taylor, he's got a different take on this. He suggests that maybe Sharma was actually dropped due to his poor form. 31 runs in 5 innings.
Oof, yeah. That's not exactly inspiring confidence. Even some Indian fans, they were comparing Sharma's run count to Bumrah's, and he's a bowler. So what do you think about Taylor's interpretation? Does it hold water?
I think what's really interesting is that Taylor's perspective kind of hints at, maybe some turmoil within the Indian team. Because if you're dropping your captain during a crucial match like this, it kind of suggests a lack of confidence from the selectors, which could impact the entire squad's morale. It's almost like a vote of no confidence. That can really ripple through the team.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It definitely adds another layer of intrigue to this already fascinating situation. And then, to make matters worse, Sharma's replacement, Shubman Gill. He didn't exactly seize the opportunity, only scored 20 runs.
Right, and this lack of stability at the top of the order really kind of set the stage for India's batting struggles throughout the day. The whole team bowled out for a paltry 185, which is never a good sign in Test match cricket.
No, not at all. And it wasn't just the lack of runs. There were some seriously questionable umpiring decisions, and they just did not go India's way.
Absolutely. I mean, that one involving Washington Sundar's dismissal, it was particularly baffling. On-field umpire initially ruled him not out, and then the third umpire overturns the decision, even though the evidence seemed, I don't know, pretty inconclusive.
Yeah, I was scratching my head on that one. It's tough because those close calls, they can really shift the momentum, especially when they seem to consistently go against one team.
For sure, yeah. Every time India kind of started to gain some ground, they just get pulled back down by some controversial decision or another.
Yeah.
Must be incredibly frustrating for those players.
Oh, I bet. Speaking of frustrating, did you see that fiery exchange between young Sam Contos and Jasprit Bumrah? Contos, 19 years old, making his debut, smacks a boundary off Bumrah's first delivery. What a way to introduce yourself, right? But then things got a little spicy when Usman Khawaja tried to slow down the game a bit.
Yeah, Contos. Showing some real confidence there early on. But yeah, that incident with Khawaja really kind of changed the whole atmosphere out there. Suddenly, Bumrah and Contos locked in this, I don't know, war of words.
Yeah.
And the tension, you could just feel it through the TV.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And to add fuel to the fire, Bumrah dismisses Khawaja on the last ball of the over, but instead of celebrating, he goes straight for Contos.
Okay.
With the entire Indian team backing him up, it was like a scene straight out of a Western showdown.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a deliberate tactic from Bumrah and the Indian team, like a way to assert their dominance. And maybe getting Conto's head a bit. Remember that match in Perth a few years back where a similar scenario kind of played out. India gets bowled out for a low score on a green wicket, which fables the bowlers, by the way. But they end up winning the match thanks to, you guessed it, some incredible bowling from Bumrah and centuries from Jasprit and Kohli.
Oh, I remember that match. Amazing comeback. Do you think we could be seeing like a repeat performance here? Are we on the verge of history repeating itself?
That's the big question, isn't it? There are definitely some parallels, but it's still early days. Australia still needs to bat, and how they perform will be crucial in determining the direction of this match.
All right, so we've got a potentially rattled young batsman, a fired-up Indian team looking for revenge, and a series on the line. I don't know about you, but I'm on the edge of my seat. Feels like we're watching, I don't know, like a psychological thriller unfold on the cricket pitch. But before we get too caught up in the drama, I think we should circle back to those controversial umpiring decisions. They really deserve a closer look, especially for those of you out there who, really follow the intricacies of the game.
Yeah, for sure. These decisions, they aren't just about individual calls.
Yeah.
They raise these bigger questions about, I guess, the balance between human judgment and technology in cricket. Sundar dismissal, for example, real head scratcher. The lack of clear evidence kind of makes you wonder about the consistency of these decisions. What do you think about the increasing role of technology in umpiring? Is it making the game fairer, or are we losing something in the process?
It's a tough one, On the one hand, you want to ensure accuracy and fairness, but there's something to be said for it. The human element, right? The on-field umpire's gut feeling.
Exactly. And the impact of these close calls, it goes beyond
Yeah.
The immediate outcome. It can affect the morale of the players.
Yeah.
Create a sense of injustice, and even influence the overall narrative of the match. I mean, think about it. If a team feels like they're constantly battling against the umpires, as well as the opposition, I mean, it could really take a toll on their performance.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's like they're fighting an uphill battle, not just against the other team, but against the system itself.
Now, amidst all this, chaos and controversy, let's not forget about some of the individual performances that stood out, particularly Rishabh Pant's gutsy innings. Despite facing, a barrage of blows from Mitchell Starc's deliveries, he top scored for India with 40 runs.
Yeah, talk about resilience, huh? He took some nasty hits. One even clattered his helmet, but he just kept going. I don't know, that kind of determination. Pretty inspiring to watch.
It is, absolutely. Shows a level of mental toughness that, goes beyond physical ability. And for a while, it looked like his partnership with Ravindra Jadeja might actually turn the tide for India. They give us a glimmer of hope. But sadly, it wasn't meant to be.
They put up a good fight, though, which is, I don't know, more than you can say for some of the other batsmen. It really highlights a recurring problem for India in this series, this over-reliance on individual brilliance rather than consistent team performance.
Yeah, I think that's a keen observation. They've definitely had their flashes of brilliance, but they haven't been able to string together those crucial partnerships. They build a solid innings. And this kind of brings us back to that intriguing parallel with the Perth test from a few years back.
Right. The similarities are definitely there. Low first inning score for India, a heated confrontation involving Bumrah. But here's the question. Will Australia's bowling attack crumble in their first innings like they did in Perth? Or will they, I don't know, learn from their past mistakes and come out firing?
Yeah, that is the big unknown. It's what makes this test match so captivating. Are we going to see a repeat performance? Or are we in for
a completely different storyline?
It's all hanging in the balance.
The anticipation is killing me. But before we get ahead of ourselves and start speculating about Australia's innings, I think it's important to take a step back and appreciate the psychological warfare that's unfolding on the pitch.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. This test match it's a prime example of how mental fortitude can be just as important as technical skill. Every gesture, every stare, every word exchanged carries weight and can potentially influence the outcome.
Yeah, it's like they're playing chess with their minds, trying to anticipate their opponent's next move and gain a psychological advantage. That's what I find so fascinating about Test cricket. It's a battle of wits as much as it is a battle of skills.
And you can see it in the players' expressions, their body language. I mean, the pressure is immense, and how they handle it can make all the difference. Some thrive under pressure, while others crumble.
It's the human element, the emotional roller coaster, that makes Test cricket so unpredictable and so gripping. And as we head into the second day of this final test, with Australia starting their innings, I think it's crucial for you as our listener to keep that psychological element in mind, because it's not just about the runs and wickets, it's about the mind games, the battles of will, the subtle shifts in momentum that can just completely change the course of a match. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see another twist, another controversial decision, another fiery exchange. That throws everything into chaos. I mean, that's the beauty of Test cricket. You just never know what's coming next.
It's a game that, demands patience, resilience, the ability to adapt to constantly changing circumstances. And as this final test unfolds, I think it really reminds us that even when the odds seem stacked against you, a single moment of brilliance or a shift in mindset can completely rewrite the script.
Yeah, it's a reminder that anything is possible, right? That even in the face of adversity, there's always a chance for a comeback, a moment of triumph.
Exactly. And as we wrap up our deep dive into this thrilling first day, we want to leave you with this thought. Beyond the scorecard, beyond the statistics, pay attention to the human drama that's unfolding on the field.
Right. The raw emotions, the highs and lows, the moments of doubt, the determination. I mean, it's those human elements that make Test cricket so captivating, wouldn't you say?
I think so. Absolutely. Those expressions of frustration and elation, the unspoken battles of will, they all contribute to the rich tapestry of the game. It's a reminder that even in the most intense competitions, there's a beauty and a poetry to the struggle, the triumphs and the heartbreaks.
I love that. Beautifully put. So to our listener, as you continue to follow, this final test match, remember, it's not just about who wins or loses. It's about the stories being written, the legacies being forged, and the human spirit that shines through, even in the face of adversity.
Yeah. Soak it all in. Savor every moment. and let the drama of this final test
Unfold.
unfold before you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, we'll sign off. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.